at the AFCON next year in Morocco is going to extend our barren run of not winning caps to beyond 42 years. So yes, it is friendly, but when the chance presents itself and we can assess based on the teams that will be playing that we are capable of winning it, they should attach every seriousness to win it, because it begins to build that winning mentality, that mentality that will ensure that everywhere we go, whatever competition we find ourselves in, we'll be able to compete and lift the silverware. Again, I looked at the squad that he picked up. I think Imota called me when the squad came that, do I want to comment? I said, no, normally I will not comment on squad based on friendly games.
Right.
The one thing that was so clear, that as you build your team or as you try to look at other players, the people at the FA are still not learning. They are not learning because they have limited our pool of selection. I've always said, when you pick up a team or when you call players into the national team, and the pool is always skewed towards one direction, you are not helping your cause. You are just setting yourself up to fail. We just saw what happened at the under-20 level, where because of limited selection, the fact that Desmond Ofer allowed himself to be used such that they could only see players within a certain pool and not extend the pool, that will ensure that we'll bring the best on board, hence our failure. Look, I was in Tumu over the weekend to support my brother Fentu Tahiru. The talent I saw in Tumu, there's this boy, I mean, there were 3 boys. We had 8 games, and within the 8 games, I could pick 3 natural talent, and I'm saying it on record. Of the 3, one of the boy who is naturally, look, he's so young that the moment you see his physique and his ability, first of all, you get attracted to the young man because of his physique. And when the game is in motion, his movement, his touches, his runs, so intelligent, and I was asking myself, people like this, if you don't travel this far, how are we going to see them? Don't forget, they are also Ghanaians, and they deserve to be given equal opportunity to have a clear shot at our national team. But if you are dealing with people at the FA who thinks that it's only those players who plays for Dream FC and Dreams affiliate, and of course those players who plays for members of the ESCO, and those players who play for only teams that have got people sitting on the ESCO, then as a country we are in big trouble. I will plead with the people at the FA, and for that matter, I will plead with Keto Kreku and Otuado. Widen your pool. Go beyond your affiliation. Go beyond your own. Stop being selfish. And let's build our national team to be able to function as and when we need them to. My last point on this matter is against Nigeria. We have to take it very serious. Me, I don't glory friendly games. The one thing I will not accept is for my Black Stars to lose against Nigeria. I just don't like that. I hate that. Within my DNA, that has never been a topic for discussion. Because if my Black Stars are going to play Nigeria anywhere, no matter how friendly it is, I still want my Black Stars to beat Nigeria. So they should go out there and beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because they are not our friends when it comes to football. They know they are our brothers, but when it comes to football, we always want to dominate them. My last point, then we switch to the Chelsea Roberts issue, is the fact that no more this team has gone out there on an invitation by some organizers.
Yes. I
am just prompting the Honorable Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, that the team did not go to where they are as we speak without his permission. No 2 ways about that. Nobody can say otherwise. If you are honest and truthful, there is money to be gained from this. We want to know how much money is involved in the Black Stars participating in this tournament. If he leaves it to the people at the Ghana Football Association and Ketukreku, they will go mute. They will go silent on the matter. Nabajashka, Niwabana Shikana. I am pleading that it is my money, Ray, it is your money, it is our money that is used to fund the Black Stars. So if an opportunity were to present itself like this one, where we'll also get something small into our kitty, so that at the end of the day, as and when the Black Stars will be required to be funded by the state, we can go there and use that money to supplement the money that will be needed. Nobody can compromise that. And some of us, we are beginning to put such things down. Already, the budget against Chad and Madagascar has not still been released. Already, the under-20 budget has not still been released. Again, this one too is coming to add. Honorable Kofi Adams, we want you to succeed. But don't forget, Ghanaians are not naive.
Right.
Raymond, Oganojibu.
Yes.
Liye kami. No care man be, I can only win it. Inke, tona ke to atete, no ake to atete. Tete frame mami komi, amiche komi. No ke abamo tete, che to amitile ke lemo ke wale. Na ke ba bamo tete. No ke tete le onwe be akaba bamole. Fa no manya blawo. Now we can talk about Chelsea.
Okay, noni buy a to me, e buy a watch.
Nakani. No, Kofi Adams say honorable. Eta shodogba, ekeke to krakome, akafe kome, na fe ni business akafe o. Won kwa be fai. We want to know how much money is involved in this tournament because we are not paying a dime. The Black Stars is being fed, is being catered for. If by being there, there's money to gain. And as if we're able to win the cup too, there's money to gain. Like I'm saying, it is our money that is used to take care of the Black Stars. So please, they should be as Look, we have a president who has said he will be very, very transparent. So far, so good. For His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Anybody who seeks to do otherwise will have to be quickly prompted. And so far, the sports minister so far has done otherwise on every opportunity he's been given. The budget is still not out for the Black Stars World Cup qualifiers. The budget is not out. We don't know how much money was spent on the under 20. We know all that.
Yeah.
This one to the Black Stars has gone out there to play in the Unity Cup 4-nation tournament. Money is surely involved. If you listen to the people at the FA, they will never account to the people of Ghana. So media, I'm just telling him and hoping that he does the right thing.
Right, Coach. Let's go to Poland. Let's go to Poland now, and then let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea in the Europa League this season, I think they've saved their best form for Europe. They've won 6 games, lost just once, and drawn as many as 3. Let's look at Chelsea and their chances against Real Betis. Chelsea had to play a game over the weekend, a game that was going to secure qualification into Europe into the Champions League next season. But what do you make of Chelsea and their performance in the Conference League this season? Have they been, dominant because of the opponents they face, or Chelsea have just been a very good team this season?
You yourself, you are aware that at times if you play against Peter and Noah and John, nobody knows that Peter and Noah and John, these are biblical people who were disciples and they were men of God. They were not footballers. If you go and play against a team called Noah, a team called John, a team called Peter, of course you will stampede, you will stamp over them. But having said that, look, they've been brilliant. I think they've been very, very good in the Conference League. But again, of all the opposition, they themselves will know or they will admit before even the game this evening that they never played any team like Real Betis. They never met any coach in the pedigree, in the stature, in the technical and tactical know-how of Manuel Pellegrini. So one thing that is certain today, if they really do want to win the cup, they'll need to play above themselves. They'll need to play better than they've done in all the games they've played in the competition, because the opposition will be very, very different. This Real Betis team is made up of established professional players. Take it or leave it. Yes, Anthony came to Manchester United. He started very well. He faded away. But some time back, he was an established Brazilian international. As we speak, I think he's been called up again to the Brazilian national team.
Yeah.
This Real Betis team under Manuel Pellegrini are on 4. They've done so well in the Spanish La Liga. They've qualified for Europe again, just like Chelsea themselves have done. So what Chelsea really need to do is to approach this game with all seriousness. I do believe that if Chelsea were to show up in their very dominated, the likes of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, the likes of Nicolas Jackson, Cole Palmer, if they were to show up today in the final, I think they'll win it. But the one thing that they need to be very, very careful about, they are playing against a Spanish opposition. And historically, the records are there. Normally, when the English teams play against the Spanish opposition in any type of final, the Spanish guys seems to find a way. They just seems to find a way of lifting the cup. That is something that may not go in the favor of Chelsea. And of course, the two coaches on parade today, one is hugely experienced. One you cannot say the same for.
Yeah.
But there's always the start of a legacy, whether a bad legacy or a very, very good legacy. There's always going to be a start. I believe that if you put Manuel Pellegrini down and you were to compare him to Maresca himself admits that is his boss. He was his former boss, or he's been one of his teachers. Those who've actually held his hand and taught him the rudiment, the fundamentals, the basic of coaching. Maresca admits that Manuel Pellegrini was his first initiator, somebody who initiated him into the coaching profession. So if you are going to play with your boss, yes, you might have learned everything, but believe me, just like every teacher would do, I teach as well. It is not everything that I expose to my student.
Yeah.
Because when they come to me, they should see the clear difference between they and myself. And if I want them to see that there are times I up the standard of my question, just tweak it a little bit and get them to fish out. And I know no matter how well they fish out, they'll have to come back to me to establish my dominance and the fact that they cannot compare themselves to me. But having said that, this is football. It's about the protagonists. Maresca, Manuel Pellegrini themselves will not be on the pitch. They would have impacted tactics, means, systems for their players to go out there and showcase. But it will come down to the players themselves. It's about Isco today. It's about Anthony today. It's about Caicedo. It's about Nicolas Jackson, Cole Palmer. It is about them. The coaches today are going to facilitate. They are facilitators of the system and the tactics that they're going to give to this guy. But as to who puts it into practice and who does it well to the benefit of his team will come down to the players. Look, Chelsea, I believe, is coming from a very, very strong league. By far the best league in the world in terms of how competitive the EPL is. You cannot say that for the Spanish league, but don't get me wrong. The Spanish league, when it comes to European competition, I think they are the best because their teams have always dominated. If you go to the Champions League, if you go to the Europa Cup, the Spanish teams have always been on top when it comes to the competitions in Europe. So Chelsea will have to be mindful. One thing that Maresca cannot do today, he cannot go to those guys he's trusted in the Europa League, in the conference. Don't forget, at the beginning of the season, he had two teams. He had the Europa Conference League team and the team that was playing in the league.
Yeah.
And I was asking myself, no, he can't do that. You need to get your team to play together as often as they can, because that can only ensure perfection in the way they do their things. But if today there's a different set on Thursday, there's an entirely different set on Sunday, then you are actually setting up to fail when it matters most. Along the line, the likes of Kopama and Co, who were not registered for the Conference League, got registered. And when they got to the business end of the competition, those guys were introduced. And you could clearly see that as they got closer and closer to the finals, the standard of their play improved. Today, they will see something that they've never seen, something that they've never experienced throughout their Conference League journey today. The opposition is better. The quality of the opposition will be very obvious. They will not experience the lot of turnovers that they were experiencing from their previous opponents, where under the least pressing from Chelsea, the ball is turned over to them. This time around, it is a Spanish team made up of technicians, players who are very comfortable on the ball, which means that you need to work tirelessly to establish any form of dominance. So people like Kopama, who will not work out when the team is not in possession of the ball, today they'll have to do so. They cannot leave the defensive responsibility or the job of trying to win the ball off the opponent. That cannot be left to the likes of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez and Co. only. Everybody will have to get involved. It's about winning the cup. It's not about playing beautiful. So it's about going out there and I think Chelsea, in my view, starts as favorite. But Immortal called me earlier on, just before I came on air.
Yeah.
He said, as a Manchester United supporter, am I going to sit down for Chelsea to win it? I said, of course. You know, deep down in my heart, I truly don't want them to win it. As I'm talking to you, my wife, who is a Chelsea fan, is seated right by me. And she's already telling me that, what am I saying? What am I doing? Sweetheart, Mrs. Nimley, for once, I'm not going to support you, Charlie. Everything is going to go on as well, Charlie. But of course, my heart says Chelsea should not win it. But deep down in my brain, which is what I usually will go by, I'll go by my thought. I'm not an emotional person. I always use my brains in such matters. And I expect Chelsea to win. If they show up, I expect them to win it today.
But coach, you look at the record, just like you spoke about. There's a 9-game losing streak for English teams against Spanish opposition in European Cup competition finals.
Yes.
That will be on one side. But you look at this Real Betis team as well. You look at Manuel Pellegrini and you look at the players that he has. If Manuel Pellegrini can get something out of this game, what must he do?
I think basically what he needs to do is to get his players to play to their strength. And as a typical Spanish team, what is their strength? Their strength is to dominate possession. Their strength is to make sure they control the ball with some form of intensity and some form of proper intent. What they cannot do, which I have already warned the Chelsea team about, Chelsea will not be experiencing a lot of turnovers in their favors today.
Yeah.
Manuel Pellegrini's team will have to be told, and they have to ensure that if they can get Chelsea to work for the ball, that is where they can punish Chelsea. Don't forget, it's about putting the ball in the back of the net. And also, they should respect the fact that they are playing against Chelsea, a team traditionally in recent times, Paula Mantem. But although they've not come that early, they've been a formidable force. They've won the Champions League, they've won the Super Cup, they've won the Europa Cup. It's like they've won almost everything that they've played that there is to be won. They've won it. Yeah. So if you're a Maresca, you need to get the boys to respect the fact that this team, Chelsea team, knows how to win. Normally, Chelsea, I don't like them. The one thing that I admire of them, when there's something to play for and there's something to get, I think 75% they would end up getting what they want or what they need. And that is what Manuel Pellegrini will have to tell his boys to be mindful about. And then, look, it is a final. Tactically, he has a role to play as a coach himself.
Yeah.
It's about winning it and whatever he needs to do. For example, in terms of getting his players not to be overly indulged in unnecessary antics, Anthony must be told that this is a final, and final are played with intent. No over-elaboration, pass the ball, move, create space for your teammate, and let's see how the Chelsea team will handle that. I think that if Real Betis were to dominate the object, that run object that they will all be going after, if they can bring their technical players. Look, when Man United play against Athletic Club, one thing that was so disappointing with Athletic Club is that they were overly rushing things. They were rushing the process. You don't rush the process. You need to believe in the process. Take your time. Pass the ball around. Wait for your moment and go and punish the opponent. Charlie, one thing that is sure, we'll be in your league on. When I'm actually giving saying like
Yes, today we are taking our watch party to Jane Nelson Hall, University of Ghana. We are proudly partnering Guinness to bring you that watch party. So, Coach, I'll be expecting you there. But, Coach, there's a school of thought that believes that experience will settle this game, especially on the part of both managers. Maresca doesn't have too much experience when it comes to coaching at this level, and that could possibly just settle this tie. What do you make of those who believe in that philosophy?
You see, it is not a philosophy that you can rule out.
Yeah.
Because, don't forget, I've already said the man is playing against his boss.
Yeah.
And I've established the fact that even as a teacher, it's not everything that you want to expose to your student, isn't it? So I want to believe that his boss didn't show him everything. Yeah. There were things he hid from him. Yeah. So if it becomes necessary that Manuel Pellegrini shows that part of his coaching that I believe Maresca wouldn't have seen or have experienced before, he will do it. Because don't forget, it's about winning the cup. If whatever needs to be done, So, and look, you don't take away experience. Emmanuel Pellegrini, very experienced. He's still being in the job. He's coaching. That is why his team is in the final. He's not an experienced coach who has gone to sleep. He's coaching actively. So that means that with all his years of experience, he's experienced this situation before. On the part of Enzo Maresca, he hasn't done that before. So yes, I accept. But look, you, Pellegrini, will have to make it count. If you are the most experienced and you don't make it count, where is the benefit of being very experienced?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been there.
Sure.
Yes. So that is the point. So yes, it is a factor that you have to consider, that if the man were to decide to use it, then Maresca will be in big trouble today.
Right, Coach. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully, we'll get back to you tomorrow to run the rule over what we watched tonight. So hopefully, your prediction would come true, and Mrs. Nimley will be happy when Chelsea win.
Sure.
Sure. Hopefully, for us on the other side, we'll be hoping that Betis do the job over Chelsea.
Okay, sir. All right.
Have a good day,
Thank
Coach.
you very much.
Right. Right. And that was Coach Christopher Nimley.